Thoughts on partnership and monogamy and marriage, I guess. 24. Oh, my knees are really painful. Fuck. Currently, I think marriage is a piece of paper. I think the piece of paper has many benefits, but personally, not being religious, not necessary. I do not see that in my future at all, unless it's for a green card, I need citizenship situation. However, I think the concept of a wedding, love it. Like, if whoever I'm with is up for it, hopefully they are, then we would have a wedding. I'm not going to do this whole, like, I need to skip down the aisle in white, because many people don't look good in white. Why can't I just wear like a black flowy dress? Everyone can wear what they want. Let's have a great party. Let's just have a celebration of love with all of our friends. And we can stand there and say something to each other if that's what we want. But the act of marriage, I think, is something we've just pulled from religion. And a lot of people do because that's what you do. And they're just kind of running like headless chickens through the society treadmill of what you're supposed to be doing. So marriage for me, not there. Monogamy, I think, is a glamorous idea that I want it to work, but I'm not convinced, because especially if you meet someone young, you're both going to change so much. And yes, you can grow together, but I think it's unrealistic to think that you're always going to be exactly what that other person needs, always be right for the other person, always be healthy for the other person, and always be able to fill all of their needs. And for one person to be able to fill all of your needs to begin with, I think is a high order. So at this point in life, my ideal is like, I don't know, it doesn't count as monogamy if it's an open relationship, but it's not polyamory. You're in a relationship with one person, but it's open and you have the rules as to what is open and what is not. And it's always a constant discussion, in that if you then break up, it's not like the most drama-filled breakup. It can literally be, we absolutely love each other and this is not healthy for us, or this is not what we want right now, and maybe in the future, or maybe not. But I think I have a bit of a problem with this one. Because in the olden days, there was the option of getting married or not, which I was like, I'm glad I wasn't born in that time. But now I'm born in the time when you have like 1,000 sexualities to pick from, and you can just like be like, well, I'm just going to do what I want. I'm going to marry this person and be with this person, have a wife there, have a child there. And oh yeah, well, polyamory is different to pansexual and bisexual and straight. But oh, I'm straight, but this girl, but it's like, I feel like some of us, without even thinking, we know what we want, but now because all of these questions are up in the air, flying around, and all of these sexual orientations, formations of partnerships and families, it's just like, you start questioning everything. And especially, I think, the lines between knowing in the moment right now that I think I want to spend my life with one person, if I can find that, keeping my eyes open to the reality that people develop and change to such a degree, including myself, and that I don't want to be tied down, that I want an open relationship, that potentially that is a young me thought, but also potentially I'm thinking that I might need an open relationship for my whole life because of the current climate of relationships in the world, that so many more marriages are falling apart. And I think it's because people see the opportunity to be able to get what they want, which is incredible. However, having everything, when you say to someone you can do anything you like, they're more lost than when you say you can do this or this. And I don't want to trap myself or other people, but I think right now we're in a very much relationship epidemic. And I mean human relationship and intimacy epidemic in general. It's absolute fucking disaster. And I think that if we start prioritizing intimacy, meaning like how much you can understand that other person, be with that other person, spend time with them, act in their best interests. And sexual compatibility is an aspect of intimacy, but you can have sex without intimacy and you can have intimacy without sex. I think when that is the priority, then the relationship is softer. Softer in terms of more mouldable, more breathable, hopefully more successful. Yeah, it's a difficult one for me because I was raised around the mindset of grow up, find a guy, get married, have kids. It was never pushed on me, but that's what I always saw. And now, I don't want to get married, and that's acceptable to have this like civil partnership. And if it's the best person, the best person. If I absolutely love them, yeah. But an open relationship, I think, when it's communicated clearly, is marvellous. But this is just for me. People are going to say that about being polyamorous or having 5 wives or whatever their orientationship is. And I think we need to find the space where we can see what we were raised with. We can see what our initial feelings are. Like, what is that? You just close your eyes, forget about anyone watching. What do you want? And then see what you're surrounded by, because a lot of people, I think, especially in the creative field, if they come from a like not so creative background or family, they arrive and then they're suddenly everything, which is not a bad thing. It might be true for a lot of people, but suddenly like they go through 5 different genders, they go through 5 different sexualities, and it's they're trying to discover themselves, but I think they feel pushed to be like, oh fuck, what am I? Because to be a straight girl, want to be in a monogamous relationship with a man, which was me in a creative school, and many other people, but I wasn't even questioning it. I was like, I've kissed enough girls to know that's not for me, and I don't want to be in a triangle relationship thing. So then they're like, what are you doing? Like, everyone here is interesting and discovering this about themselves and discovering that. And I was like, I'm still discovering things about myself. All of me and myself, I'm still discovering. And all of me and myself want a relationship. But I needed to be very honest with myself and admit that I'm a straight girl and I want to be in a relationship with one man, potentially open relationship at the moment, and that's that. And I think admitting that, rather than when people are like, oh, but you kissed that girl, I'm like, I can kiss people and feel whatever about it, but not know that I don't want anything else from that. And that's where that's very clear for me. That's the end of it. Whereas I think some people, honestly, I've met a lot of people who are in the exact same position as me, exact same, even after talking to them, are like, no, I feel the same. Like, they don't mind kissing both genders or something, but they want nothing else from it. But because of the environment they're in, they're like, oh, but maybe. And it's not bad to question that maybe or even act upon that maybe. But I think when people only ask that maybe because of, oh, but everyone's questioning this, everyone's doing this is what I need to start doing now. I think a lot of people waste many years or waste a lot of mental angst when actually they know what gender they are and sexual orientation they are. But because everyone else around them is like spending so much effort to figure it out, they feel like they also should be. And I don't want to fall into that trap. And of course, this is different for absolutely everyone for different phases of life. Already, I feel weird speaking about it now because there was a phase when I was like, open relationship is just not an option at all for me. And now that's all I want is open relationship. And in the future, maybe I'm married with kids. I don't know. But I think the prioritization needs to be on intimacy and understanding between people. And that a relationship is exactly the same as a friendship. Well, exactly the same. Like, in terms of how you treat it, you need to treat it as we are 2 individual people coming together to create something, coming together because we want to be there. You don't have friends that you're like, well, I don't want to be friends with them. If there's no other motive, it's completely up to you. You're just not going to be friends with some randomer if you really don't want to be. The same with a relationship. You're going to say what you want to do. It's just that we need to have the balls to do that. I feel like this wasn't really clear. The more I do these videos, I feel like I don't actually know myself. I don't actually know what I want. I don't know what I think on things. Which is good to learn. It's good to learn. If someone said, what do I think on relationships? And I had to sum it up. What would I say? Everyone wants them. But we all go about a manipulative way to get what we want because we don't feel like we can just outright say what we want. I don't think manipulation is a bad thing. I think it's just what people do when they don't know how to get what they want and they panic and they just really want what they want. And I think it's a completely valid thing that happens. And I think we're all too scared to say what we actually want because if we had to, even just to ourselves admit it, I think a lot of us could admit more concretely what we want than we actually think we could. So for future Tash, right now, you want a committed relationship with one male human, ideally open relationship within some boundaries of like no exes, these kind of rules that are agreed together. Am I married with 50 kids, like, watching this? That's going to be really embarrassing. Kind of doubt it. But I'm going to doubt everything that I think really strongly now when I'm like 25 years on, when I'm 50. Maybe I've just had a breakup. Maybe I'm with a partner and we tried open relationship and it was an absolute disaster. Maybe I got cheated on. Maybe I cheated on them. That I better hope. That better not happen. Never gonna know. Well, I guess I will, but fuck. I don't really know. I don't think anyone really knows. Maybe that's what we need to own up to, is that we actually have no fucking idea. Even if we could all admit the bit that we actually know of what we want and then admit just as openly that we have no idea about the rest, I think we'd all get somewhere 10 times faster and healthier and kinder. And with that more understanding, so with that better relationships. That's what I hope for the world and for me.